The South thinks it will rise again. First, before you get out your pitchforks and torches, I'm not often stumped. But I have to admit, she stumped me. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, in an online interview for the Right Network, was asked this weird question.
You're on a deserted island, and you can only spend it with Keith Olbermann, Chris Matthews, or Rachel Maddow. Who would you choose out of those three?
I think probably Keith Olbermann.
Really?
I would, yeah, because I think it would be so interesting to have a discussion with him, and I think that he would be willing to have a discussion. I do.
Now, I think I know what this is all about. Ms. Bachmann said her favorite song was Taking Care of Business by Bachman-Turner Overdrive. Her favorite composer was Johann Sebastian Bach. Her favorite snack was celery, Michellery. And her island choice, that's Olbermann with two N's, as in Bachmann with two N's. Having said all that in the spirit of something, I'm game if you are, for the conversation anyway. We have today invited Congresswoman Bachmann on Countdown at her leisure. I'll bring the sand. Now, time for today's nominees for the worst persons in the world. The bronze to Dell's Maraschino Cherries Company in Red Hook in Brooklyn, New York. Well, they're not really the worst, but it is their fault. You heard of killer bees? How about red bees? Brooklyn beekeeper Cerise Mayo was mystified. Her bees had turned red. Their honey was the color of cough syrup. Another plague that would soon doom mankind? Well, not exactly. The bees had been lunching at the runoff from the Maraschino Cherries Company. The red coloring, the red honey, red dye number 40. Apparently they like the taste. Our runner-up, Congressman Steve King of Iowa, the king of crazy, is right on the line. He's now pushing the latest racial meme over the Pigford court decision that the U.S. Department of Agriculture had discriminated against black farmers and owed them a total of $1 billion. The ruling came in 1999, but that fact does not slow down King's racial paranoia one jot.
Figure this out, Madam Speaker. We have a very, very urban Senator, Barack Obama, who has decided he's going to run for president. And what does he do? He introduces legislation to create a whole new Pigford claim.
Very, very urban. This is another white euphemism for black folks. Mr. King, you are very close to jumping the racism shark. Beware. But our winner, Glenn Beck, communist. You heard me.
Federal employees should not be allowed to ever make more than this. Ever. Members of Congress should never make more than the people who die on our battlefields.
Figure he circled there, $50,462. That's the average wage of a U.S. citizen. No member of Congress should make more than the average citizen? Listen to this. As if to emphasize its character as a truly democratic proletarian government, the Commune decreed that the salaries of all administrative and government officials, irrespective of rank, should not exceed the normal wages of a worker. The Commune was the Paris Commune of 1871. And you know what the kind of people that got in communes? Comrades? Communists. And you know who wrote that fond reminiscence about no government official making more than the average citizen? Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, better known as Lenin, the communist. And communist Glenn Beck is stealing his act. Glenn, as in Len in Beck, today's worst tavarish in the world.